All right, the most pleasant. Yes. Good afternoon. Top of the afternoon. This is Sugar Hamilton streaming for Mikado on Hamilton live stream service, and of course we are on Mikado's Facebook page. Am I correct? Top of the morning to you, Miss Garbutt. How are you doing?
The afternoon, but
Oh, morning, afternoon. Good grief. I think I am from morning. That is why I keep saying morning. Good afternoon.
afternoon. I am okay.
Well, just start off right where I left you. Just to enjoy your birthday yesterday.
Yes, I did.
Now we are at day 2 of the pattern making session with Mr. Lutherlow right here beside me, prepping himself. Talk to me about yesterday. Well, I know we streamed the 10:30 a.m. session, but I would imagine moving to the midday and the 4 p.m. You had.
Yes, we had some more people came in the afternoon and in the evening.
And this morning, afternoon again, we're here.
Yes, this morning also.
Yes. All right, so this morning you had the 10:30 midday, 4 p.m. again this evening. Today is Thursday. You have it again tomorrow?
Yes, we'll have it again tomorrow, the same time, 10:30, 12, and 4 p.m. And then also we have Saturday, which will be 10:30 and 12.
The registration aspect continues the same. They just walk in. They need to call in advance, or they just walk in.
Well, you could walk in and just come in and have a seat, or you can sign up at the front desk before class. And you could also call in and let us know what time you would like between the next 2 days.
Well, Ms. Garbutt, we won't take up much time. Mr. Lutherlow is absolutely ready to go. We don't want to hold up the train here. We have our eager career opportunity ladies. I don't see a gentleman today. Yesterday we had a couple of men, right? Yes. So those brave soldiers were here to get the tailoring done. Or if they know how to sew a good dress, it's just like when they say one man cook, no a good if the man a good chef, he cooks better than a woman. When a man sew for a woman, I guess he would sew better, right? Bring the curves to life. But we want to welcome all the ladies here today, and of course other sessions that they can make today would be at 4 p.m. So come on down. Miss Garbutt, you will be on standby for when we're done, right? Yes. Good. Mr. Lutherlow, it's all yours. Do have a fabulous good morning, telling again how this pattern making is going.
Thank you very much, and welcome ladies to this pattern making class here at the Mikado store. My name is Frank Lutherlow, and I'm here with a company that's called Fashion Unlimited. On the reverse side of your folders you all have our website with the contact information. There's also the phone number, and should you have any questions, feel free to contact us there. The website is www.lutterloh, that's spelled LUTTERLOH.com. Now you all saw the ad on Facebook, I assume. Anybody saw the TV advertisement this morning, the interview? You saw that? Did you also see it on Facebook? Well, it says in only 1 hour you can learn pattern making, and I can very well understand if some of you might be a little bit skeptical about this, and you might ask yourself, why can I learn something in such a short time where other people have to study weeks, months, sometimes even years for? And I can answer you this question. That is possible thanks to our pattern making system. And the system that I'm going to demonstrate to you today is called the Golden Rule. We named it the Golden Rule because it's based on a mathematical formula which is known as the golden section. Now, the golden section is an ancient formula that states that certain body parts within the human body relate. And I give you now some examples to make this a little bit more understandable. For instance, the distance of the outstretched arms from fingertip to fingertip is equal to the height of the body. 8 times the length of your head equals the height of your body. The distance from the wrist to the inside of your elbow, that's your foot length. Now you might look at your arm and think, I don't have long feet like this, but if you bend your wrist and the elbow from here to there, you see it's not that long anymore. It's the length of my foot. The circumference of your fist equals your foot length. And if you place your thumb on the second segment of your index finger, the upper 2 segments of your index finger, that's exactly the length of your nose. And there are many others of these proportional relationships in the anatomy of the human body, and this has been well known for hundreds of years already. Many famous artists and sculptors have utilized this knowledge centuries ago. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo have created many of their masterpieces on base of this knowledge. In fact, there's a very famous drawing from Leonardo da Vinci. It's called the Vitruvian Man. I'm sure you have seen it before. It's a man standing in a circle with the outstretched arms, and that is the golden section. Now, we took advantage of these well-known proportional relationships in the anatomy of the human body and developed a pattern-making system that enables even beginners to make custom-fit, made-to-measure patterns by using only 2 body measurements. And these 2 measurements are your bust measurement and your hip measurement. And I will show you now how this works, and I'm going to make a vest pattern for a lady from the audience. Now, for this vest, we need a front and a back part. You open your folder, inside you will find the necessary pattern designs, the front and the back part. So I will take the front part now, and I put that with some Scotch tape on a sheet of paper. And who's going to be our model today? Who's going to volunteer for this vest pattern? Yeah, I think come to the front, please. And what's your name? Consuelo. Please lift your arms. Consuelo, I take 2 measurements from Consuelo. The bust measurement over the fullest part in the back, fullest part in the front. That measures here 114 centimeters. We work with metric. That's why we get higher numbers, because we have smaller units. And the hip measurement, to take it over the fullest parts in back and front, that measures 130 centimeters. Thank you very much. Sorry, what was your bust measurement? 114. Thank you. 114 and 130. So comes well. The other thing now that is important, besides the bust and the hip measurement, is this tape measure. It's an ordinary centimeter tape measure, but on one side of it I have a sizing scale attached. And this sizing scale is really important, and you see it on the left-hand side of your folders. When you open them, there's that sizing scale right here. And on that sizing scale, you see 2 sets of numbers. On the left-hand side, we have black numbers from 0 to 8. Now, these numbers are simply the centimeter units that are continued in the yellow part of the tape measure. It goes to 12 on your paper. In my original tape measure, it continues up to 150. That's how long that measuring tape is. And these metric numbers at the moment are not so important. The very important numbers on the sizing scale is the other set of numbers that you see on the right-hand side. Now, these numbers start with that little red 50 on the bottom, and then they go in increments of 2 up to that black 140 on top of the scale. And these numbers represent your bust and hip measurements in centimeters. Your bust measurement as well as your hip measurement can be a red or a black number. So please don't think that one color always is for the bust measurement and one is for the hip measurements. Both measurements, bust and hips, can be red or black. Let's find Consuelo's bust measurement 114 now in the sizing scale, and that happens to be a little red number. Everybody sees that number? Yeah. Then you will also see a little red arrow that points to that number, and on the line of that arrow you all have a tiny little red dot. Do you all see that little dot? Now, what's a dot on your paper scale, ladies, is in my original plastic scale a perforated hole, and I can take a push pin now and simply insert that through that hole, just like that. And now I have fixed Consuelo's bust measurement in the sizing scale. That was very easy. And if you look now inside of the pattern design, you will see that there's a cross inside. All our pattern designs have that cross. That's a very important point. And this is now where this push pin goes with Consuelo's bust measurement 114. I pin it right in the center of this cross now. And this allows me now to easily and freely rotate my measuring tape freely around the entire pattern design. Now we have lines and numbers that extend out of this pattern design. And what I do next is also very easy. I take the scale now and I bring it to one of those lines just until the edge of the line, the edge of the scale touches that line. You see that right here? Until the scale reaches that line. I hold it right here and I read the number on that line. Right here it's the number 18. Now this simply tells me to find that same number in my measuring tape 18 and to simply place a dot right next to that number 18 on my paper. Then I bring the scale up towards the next line. I can easily move it now just until it reaches the next line. Right there I hold it, read the number again, 18, find that number 18 and place a dot right next to it. This is really very easy. All you do is you read numbers and make dots. And I bring it to the next line, 15, make a dot at 15. Then there's 19, 33, and you see what happens now. After I made a few dots, you can see already the shape for the armhole made to Consuelo's individual measurement that is right here in the sizing scale. And this is how I continue with the shoulder section, 35. Then I have 36, read numbers and make dots. 37.5, a little 5 next to the 37, that's half a unit. So I come up to 37 and a half. And now I have a line that is not connected with the pattern design, and you might ask yourself, where is the dot that belongs to that line? You extend that line with your finger, with your pen, you follow it into your pattern design, you will find another dot inside, which is the dot for the dart. Everybody sees that dot? Yeah. Now watch what happens. I line up the scale with that line, I find 11, make a dot at 11, this gives me the dot for the dart. And later then I simply transfer 2 straight lines from the shoulder to that dot, and that'll create the bust dart. Then 19 and a half and 19. Now you see already how easy this is. You read numbers and make dots. Now here's the very important part. When you make your patterns with this system, you have to make sure that you make all pattern parts and pieces that are located on the waistline, like this dot 18 I started with, that's exactly on the waistline. All the dots on and above the waistline, that you make those with your bust measurement. But everything below the waistline you're going to make to your hip measurement to get a personal fit. And this particular pattern piece, the vest pattern, has 3 more dots below the waistline, and therefore I switch now from the bust to Consuelo's hip measurement 130. And 130 in the sizing scale is again a red number. So you see the colors don't have anything to do with bust or hips. For Consuelo, both measurements were red numbers, but this way it's a little easier for me to find the right spot where the pin goes. Right here on the red arrow, you have a red dot, I have a perforated hole, that's where my push pin goes, and I return, of course, to the same center of the cross that is located inside of the pattern design, and now the system works to Consuelo's hip measurement, and I can make the remaining 3 dots below the waistline. 20, 21, and 1 more dot at 20. After all the dots are made, I can remove the pin with the sizing scale, and now you can see already the shape of this vest pattern. The next step now, of course, is to connect the dots, and in order to do that, I'm going to use an acrylic ruler, which is called a Taylor's curve. This is a professional tool and works very well for all kinds of curved lines on patterns, and of course also for the straight edges that I use now to connect the dots with. Makes that easy from one dot to the next. Straight lines are very easy anyways, but then once you draw a curved line with this ruler, make sure you line up a minimum of 3 dots. If you can line up 4, that's fine. Right here I line up 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. Move it over a little bit, finish the armhole. Look how nicely shaped that armhole turns out. This is a great tool and very helpful. The shoulder, then the neckline. Again, I line up 3 dots because it's a curved line. And remember that dot I made with the number 11. 2 straight lines from the shoulder now to that dot create the dart. On top of it, I have a little extra for the fabric. And there we have it, first made to fit pattern. This one is for our model Consuelo. While I'm not quite done yet, there are several details inside of this pattern design that I'm going to transfer now, such as the waistline. It goes to that dot made with the number 18, parallel to the bottom line. Then the center front comes up to this dot I made with the number 19 and a half. This one goes parallel to the front. This is also center front here, button extension. Inside of this ruler, I have 4 different button sizes that will now help to determine the right amount and size of buttons. That's of course personal preference, how many buttons you put on your vest and what size you want them to be, but it gives you an idea of how that will later look on your vest. The arrow that you see right here, that's the straight of the grain. Make sure you draw that grain line parallel to the new front because that has changed its angle according to the dots I made to Consuelo's personal measurements. Here I used her bust measurement above the waistline. For this dot below the waistline, I used her hip measurement, and therefore the line has changed the angle. If you compare it to the original, it's not parallel anymore. This line is already seeking its way to the dots that were made to the personal measurements. And this is the new straight of the grain right here. Below the armhole, there's a letter symbol A to A, B to B. Later in alphabetical order, you sew your pieces together. And then there's another nice dart in here, which is the waist dart. But as you know, your waist or your stomach is a variable measurement. So right now, I do not know how much to take in there for Consuelo. Maybe she doesn't want that dart. Then you can leave it out. But what I'm going to do right now is I mark the position of that dart. I can see it comes up towards the bust point, and it goes parallel to the front. So right here where it's located, for now I just draw a line to mark the position, and later then I will take in a little bit just to indicate that. And here we have it now, made to measure pattern. How do you like that? It's very easy, and you can do that too, I think. I removed this pattern design now from the paper. Don't forget to mark that hole where that pin was. That's a very important point. I explain to you later why you might need that. But now I would like to make another vest pattern for a lady with different measurements. Do we have another volunteer? Yeah, come here. And I'm going to use the same little pattern design. They work for all of you. The only thing now that changes is the position of the pin in the sizing scale. The lines, the numbers, and the cross, that will all remain the same. So I put that on there. And what's your name? Liana. And I take two measurements from our model Liana. The bust measurement over the shoulder blades. Sorry. Pull this part in the front. Put down your arms, Liana. That measures 102. And the hip measurement for this part and back and front, 108. Thank you very much, Liana. Bust 102 and hip measurement 108. So let's find that number 102 in the sizing scale. You might have noticed these red and black numbers, they are all even numbers. There's no 103 or 99, no 117. This means if you should measure an odd number, round it up 1 unit and go to the next higher even number. It will still be very precise because centimeters are a very small unit, but rather go up 1 unit than down. So Liana's bust measurement is 102. Yes, ma'am?
Which number are working with, your red or the black?
It depends. 102 is, for instance, a red number right now. Okay. Had I measured 104 for the bust measurement for Liana, it would be a black number. Okay. But it's 102, a red number, so I follow the red arrow that points to the number 102. And then you see on the line of that arrow, that tiny little red dot. Everybody sees that? For the ladies that came a little later, could you please pass on these flyers so they can follow? Thank you very much. 102, I have fixed the measurement now for Liana's bust measurement. Of course, it goes right in the center of the cross again. Right here in the center of the cross. That's important to put it exactly in the center. Now I can easily and freely move this and rotate it. And I line up the scale now with one of those lines. Hold the tape measure nice and straight, and the number on that line always tells me where to make a dot on the paper, right here at 18. The dot is made on the same side of the tape measure where the pin and where the number is. 18 again, and this is very easy. 15, 19, 33, 35, 36, 37 and a half, 11, the dot for the dart, right here with that number 11 I get the dot for the dart, 19 and a half, and 19. As you know, below the waistline we are always using the hip measurement, so I switch now from Liana's bust measurement 102 to a hip measurement 108. That is a black number. Did you all find it? And I insert the pin accordingly. I return in the center of the cross, and now the system works for Liana's hip measurement, and I can make the remaining 3 dots below the waistline at 20, 21, and 26. Once the dots are all made, I can remove the pin from the sizing scale, and now with this ruler I can start connecting them. And that ruler makes that really easy, especially for the curved areas, like for the armhole, necklines. If you make slacks for the crotch curves, that ruler is fantastic. Look at this right here. Gives you a beautifully shaped armhole, shoulder, the neckline, and the dart from the shoulder to that dot I made with the number 11. Here the bust dart. On top of it I have a little extra for the fabric. And there we have that made to fit pattern for our model Liana. And again I transfer now the details. The waistline goes parallel to the bottom line, right to that dot made with the number 18. The dot I made with the 19.5, that's for a reference dot for the center front, which goes parallel to the front edge of this pattern. You can put in as many buttons as you like, just to see how many look good on your vest. Straight of the grain goes parallel to the front, A to A, B to B, where you put your pieces together. And then right here is the position of the waist dot, which I do not know how much it's going to be, but this is the position. It runs parallel to the front up towards the bust point. Later when I fit this pattern to Liana, I will take in right here a little bit for her. Everybody understood? Very well. And I take off this pattern design. Don't forget to mark that hole where the pin was. I tell you later why this is important. But now I think you all understand how the system works, and once you understand that, you can make your whole wardrobe for yourselves, for members of your families, for friends, even for customers. All you need is the tape measure and the pattern design. And if you look on the other side of your folders, there are more designs. And I'm going to show you now how this works on a sleeve pattern. Everybody sees that sleeve pattern on the back? Now the only measurement that I need if I make a sleeve pattern is the bust measurement, and that is because the sleeve is located above the waistline. Remember, everything above the waistline is made to the bust measurement. So right here is the sleeve pattern for that white shirt. I taped that on my paper. And I recommend to you, when you do this at home, before you tape it down, check first that you have enough paper on all sides. You can very easily do this. Just hold the number of your bust measurement, 102 that is, for Liana. Hold that to the center of the cross of whatever pattern piece that you want to make, right here the sleeve. And then only check by the highest numbers on all sides to make sure that you don't run out of paper. Here on the right hand side it's 20, that'll work fine. Towards the top 17, there's plenty of paper there. And then on the left hand side you don't need more than 18 centimeters. So once you made sure that'll work, you can start making the dots. Insert the pin through the corresponding hole of your bust measurement, 102. I think you all know how this works now. And pin it exactly in the center of the cross that is located here inside of the sleeve pattern. Look how this can be easily moved. And now I can read numbers and make dots again. 20. 20 again. 16. 14 and a half, 14 and a half again, then there's 16, 17, then we have 16 again, next one is 14.5, and 13 and a half, then it's 14 and a half, 18, and 18. And there we have it. All the dots necessary are located on the paper, and with this ruler now it's very easy to connect them. Just make sure for the curved lines to always line up a minimum of 3 dots. That works very well with this ruler. That is what it's designed for. Sometimes you'll be able to line up 4 right here, for instance, 4 dots right away, and then another 4 over here. That ruler is fantastic. Another 3. And there we have a made to measure sleeve pattern for our model Liana. Right here at the number 17, that's the center of that sleeve where you sew it on the shoulder. Now we need to know where is the front and where is the back. On the left hand side you see that letter symbol V, that stands for front. So this must be the back side, and then you know which way that goes into your garment. The straight of the grain for sleeves, slacks and skirts normally goes perpendicular to the hem, to the bottom line. And inside of this ruler, you see that long gap in here? That is the right angle to that straight edge. So you place that long gap on the bottom line, and once you see that line through there, then you know if you draw a line right here on the straight edge of that ruler, that this is now the right direction for the straight of the grain, perpendicular to the hem. There we have a made-to-measure sleeve pattern for Liana. Like it? Well, now let's do the color. And if you look at the pattern design for the color, you will notice that there is no cross inside. Sometimes we place the cross outside, which we did here. It's about an inch below where you see that letter symbol G. Does everybody see that letter symbol G and the cross right next to it? And this is now where that push pin goes with the bust measurement 102, of course, because also the collar is above the waistline. I pin it now in the center of that cross. And now I can line up again with all of the lines. Here I have two numbers on one line, 28 and 35. This tells me that I should make two dots on one line, one at 28 and the other one at 35. And I bring it to the next line, 28, then 28 again. Here I have 28 and a half. Then there's 42, 30 and a half, 34, and 34 and a half. And once the dots are placed, they are connected with that ruler again. That makes it easy. Look, that tip of the ruler is excellent here for that color stand. Sometimes you'll be able to line up even 4 dots, like right here, and another 3. Then the center back is a dashed line. This is where you place it on the fold of your material, a dashed line. And I have another nice ruler. This is called a designer's curve. This is great for slacks and skirts, for the hip areas. When you make slacks, skirts, long dresses, or long sleeves, you can use that also. And then I like to use it here for that color stand line. It has a shape that I need right here for that color stand. I hold it parallel to the bottom line right here to that dot. It gives me a nicely shaped color stand line. A little button over here, and there we have it made to fit for our model Liana. So this is how this works, ladies. And now I want to show you that it's not only quick and easy, but the most important part when it comes to patterns is that they fit. And that I would like to show you now. They will fit beautifully, so I'm going to cut them out along the stitching line. The seam allowance is not included. You have to add your seam allowance to these patterns. Your 5/8 of an inch or whatever you like needs to be added for seam allowance. And if you are on Facebook, I recommend to you to join our Ludlow System International group with over 17,000 members already. And you can see every day some nice garments that are made by the users of the system. So the name is Ludlow System International. If you look on the back side of your folder, just type that in and look for that group and join it. It's a lot of fun. Now when I place one pattern on top of the other, you can very clearly see that although they were made with that same little pattern design, that they are different. And not only the size is different, but also the way the lines and the angles go. And this is something you will not find with commercial size patterns. This is because those were made to individual sets of measurements. So let's start with our first model now. I can fold the dart right here, the shoulder dart. And then for the waist dart, I do not know right now how much to take in there for the waist, but I will take in just a little bit right now. Can you come to the front again, please? Right here. If you don't want that, you can also leave it out. Stand right here and face the audience, please. Thank you very much. And please put one finger right here. Down here. There you go. See how nice and straight this is? Look the shoulder. Excellent. Arm hold. How's that? And this is made to fit, no adjustment necessary. That saves you so much time and frustration if you ever feel like that, because sometimes you spend more time on trying to adjust a pattern than on sewing the pieces together. Great, thank you very much. Beautiful fit. Now let's see how it worked for our next model. And I use the same design, but for different person with different measurements. And it will also fit very beautifully for Liana. So I fold the dart here. I take in a little bit right here for the waist. You can do that later on the fabric more precisely, much as you like. Come on this side, please. Put one finger right here, please. Look how nice and straight. Perfect. Shoulder could be better than that. Armhole. How's that? No adjustment necessary. Tailor-made. You can do that too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I want to talk about the length, because some of you might have thought about the possibility already that two people can have the same bust and hip measurement but not the same height. And you might have asked yourself, how is it possible with only two measurements that these patterns always fit? Well, I'm sure you heard about long-waisted or short-waisted, and also with our pattern sometimes it might be necessary to lengthen or shorten the waist. So if you fit your pattern and you notice the waist is not where it's supposed to be, then you draw a line through the cross. That's where the pin was, and that's why you should always mark that when you remove the pattern design from the paper. You draw a line through the cross parallel to the waist. Now let's say you needed to lengthen it, then you cut your pattern right here with your scissors, open it up for the necessary distance, put in extra paper, scotch tape it on there and connect the lines. If you needed to shorten it, you simply fold it right here, and you see if you do this right here, then you keep the shape of the pattern. These lines still go straight. We haven't changed anything up here, but everything fit beautifully, and that angle I brought it up in the waist where it needs to be. And that's the only thing you might have to do, the length adjustment. That's very well explained in our instruction section and also in the videos on our website. Very easy. Now I want to show you one more thing that you can do if you like. Some ladies prefer side darts, and let's say you would like that vest rather with a side dart instead of a shoulder dart. Then you can very easily transfer it to the side. You simply pick out a spot where you want to have it, let's say right here, below the armhole, wherever you want. You can go higher, lower. That's personal preference. You draw a line from that dot that you have chosen to the bust point. You cut that line with your scissors. And watch what happens now. If I close the old dart as if it never was there, then automatically the new dart opens up to the side and you get the dart that you like. Here's your pattern with the side dart. Just keep in mind, when you do this at home, make it in your paper, not in the fabric. Now this is how our system works. Invented in Germany in 1935, that's almost 90 years ago, and still it's doing fantastic worldwide. People love it. Like I said, join our Facebook group. You have people from all over the world who use it successfully. It's growing very rapidly. Every day we get lots of new members. Low System International. If you want to make other designs for yourselves or members of your families, for friends, maybe for customers, you can do that now with that kit. Everything that you need to have to make these patterns with is in here, such as the tape measure that has the sizing scale already attached to it. And because this is so important, you will get a lifetime guarantee on that tape measure with the sizing scale attached. So in case anything happens to that, you can return it to us, to Florida or Germany. Any Low distributor will replace it for free. You have a lifetime guarantee on that. A pen, 2 pins, and a roll of scotch tape. Everything that you need to have to make your patterns with. Then everything explained in our instruction section, what I just demonstrated with pictures and text. Very easy to understand, step by step, how to take the bust and the hip measurement, where you put your pattern design on your paper, how you fix your measurement and the sizing scale. Always pin it in the center of the cross. On and above the waistline, you always use your bust measurement. Below the waistline, you use your hip measurement to make the dots with. How you connect the dots with the ruler. Make sure you line up a minimum of 3 dots for the curved lines. How to lay out your made-to-measure patterns on the material under consideration of the grain line. And don't forget to add the seam allowance. Here a few words about the golden section, the proportional relationships in the anatomy of the human body. This right here is a very important page where you find all your letter symbols explained, such as the G for the collar, the V was the front and the sleeve. We have symbols for facings, grain lines, zipper, where you put in elastic, where you gather. I recommend to take that page out, make a copy of it, and keep it next to your sewing machine. You will need this frequently. Very important. Then some practical hints for the hobby dressmaker, some useful sewing hints, how to sew on buttons, collars, sleeves, how to fit in pockets, how to fit in sleeves. Knitting instruction, we have some nice designs for knits and stretch fabrics. They also have a symbol that indicates that. And here's the most fun part, the most important section in this manual. We have 280 different fashions in here, well over 1,000 different pattern pieces. And on the front page you always find the fashion drawing with your fabric requirement. It tells you how much fabric you need for each piece, and if it was made for stretch fabrics you would see that with a symbol. And then on the back side you have your corresponding pattern designs. So you don't have to adjust anything, you just look for the design that you want to make for yourself. You have the pattern design right on the back, and then just make it with your personal measurements. All kinds of slacks, all kinds of blouses, all kinds of shirts and skirts, from the bathing robe to the wedding dress, a beautiful variety of different styles. Casual wear, sportswear, elegant styles, classic styles, traditional clothes for children, for men. If you find something that you want to make, you can very easily open this anywhere, take out that page. On the back side, there's your pattern design. You can copy this so this always stays nice. When you put it back, you can put it next to your sewing machine and you always know where your patterns are. It's fantastic. If you know how to sew, you should have one of those at home if you're interested in making clothes for yourself or anybody else. This is excellent. And I offer this here at Mikado stores for a very special price. You can do that later. You can order it anytime from our website. The cost is 150 US dollars, which is like 300 Belize dollars. And then what you always want to have, of course, is the set of rulers. And that is 40 US dollars. You're looking at around 30 US dollars for shipping to Belize. So it's going to be like 300 Belize plus 80 Belize plus another 60 Belize. You're looking at 440 something. Everything today for $300. You get Belize, you get this one here, the kit with a lifetime guarantee. All the instructions, your measuring tape is in here, and then you have also the two sets, the two rulers in that set. Everything for 300 Belize dollars. It's a great offer, no shipping, and like I said, this one comes free with it. You make one or two designs of it, you will discover your skills, you will discover the fun that brings you, and make a couple of designs. It pays for it right there. Anytime later you can order additional updates. We publish new fashion supplements since 1935 every 3 months that you can see on our website. So let's say next year or in a couple of years you want to get more designs, just go to our website. You can always see what's in there, and we always have 40 fashions of the season. One of those supplements with 40 patterns is 25 US or 50 Belize dollars. You can subscribe to them, then that's a little less. You get 4 supplements for the price of 3. Children collection is available if you make a lot for children. There are a few designs in the system, not very many, but then we have additional children supplements. Those are 30 US or 60 Belize each if somebody wants to see it. And also for men we have a collection available with I think it's 50 fashions for men, and this would be also 30 US or 60 Belize. If you'd like to get it today, you can pay it at the register with your card. Just talk to Caroline and get one today from me. I will be here until Saturday. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, thank you. Was it better?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lutelo. Before you move,
Okay.
you can hold on to this. I just want you to reiterate, there were questions on the live stream. You could come in, Ms. Garbutt. There were questions on the live stream. You mentioned it, but it's just to repeat again. The main question, where can the kits be purchased here?
Here in Belize. I'm going to be here until Saturday, so if you can make it before Saturday, like 1 p.m.
Okay.
I will be here, and I hope I still have a couple left
Okay.
that you can have here.
It's while stocks last that you have here.
While stock lasts here.
Here at Mikado, they can
store.
purchase either, and then for 300, the offer now here in Belize is for 300 Belize dollars.
Yes.
Otherwise than that, if they buy online, it could be somewhere up to about 400
Yes,
plus Belize dollars.
Yes, because there's shipping added to it.
Correct.
It's going to be more than 400
Absolutely.
Belize dollars.
Again, reiterate, you'll be here up to about midday Saturday, so they have up to that time to
Yes.
get the kits and so forth. The rulers can be bought separately too.
maybe on Saturday, if you come and there are some left, I can sell them separately.
What you have
Otherwise,
left.
I give them free. I have only as many ruler sets as I have kits.
Correct. And then the website for them to purchase thereafter?
Yeah, www. and then Ludalo, like the system, .com, or ludalo-system.com. Or if you Google Ludalo system, it's very easy to find.
It's Lutterloh. Lutterloh. I'm just trying to be clear about it, so that you know whoever is on the virtual aspect of it can take advantage of making these purchases, and of course the pattern making easy as 1, 2, 3. All right. I guess that I just wanted to capture that part with regards to the obtaining the kits,
Okay,
and
very
you've
good.
answered that.
Thank you so much.
All the very best for the balance of sessions you have going today. So, Ms. Garbutt, you can step right in. And so after this session now, we have one at 4 p.m.?
Yes, one at 4
4
p.m. this afternoon.
And then you continue on until
Till Saturday.
Saturday up to midday. All right. Any additions you might want to add to these sessions? I can see the interest.
Yes.
Yeah, and then for those that are, as I mentioned yesterday, that are into a bit of sewing, like they grasp it really quick. In my case, I know nothing of sewing, but the factor of the way how you have the measurements, you do it with your eyes closed in a sense.
So by now you could go.
Yes, I'll make my only thing, exactly. And not to add, we're inside Mikado where the materials are in abundance. I must add though, Mr. Lutelo, Mr. Frank, with regards to the kit, you did mention that a particular style would recommend a particular type of material. You do offer that in the kit too?
It tells you like if it's made for stretch fabrics, for instance, and there's a symbol, and it's very important. Like you cannot use a regular fabric if it's made for stretch.
Right.
And this is always right here. This, for instance, is for stretch fabrics. That's explained on the symbols page.
Okay.
And then you have to use a stretch fabric on this particular design.
Man, we should all be sewing after this.
That's right.
And then you could also go and get a sewing machine.
Yes, and then reiterate again. Get
The
that.
store has so many nice fabrics, a huge selection of fabrics. It's very nice.
Yes, a wide selection from A to Z. You just look it up and it's right in here. Bring back the sewing machine. You can get the sewing machine here.
Yes, you could get sewing machine here, and then you could also get when you buy a sewing machine, remember you get 30 yards of fabric.
Free of cost with the sewing machine. So any specific type of
We
cloth
have a specific type of material
that
we-
goes with it.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So you can learn to draw them patterns and test it out.
Absolutely. I think it's quite interesting. Viewers should we encourage you to share this live stream. There are many more people that can. I see we had viewers from Orange Walk out district. I must let you know that.
We also have that in Spanish. So I have a few Spanish instructions here. If somebody wants to have it in Spanish, they can have it with Spanish instructions.
There we go. Again, it comes as easy as 1, 2, 3. So accommodating our Spanish speaking audience. Well, with that said,
We'd like to invite you all to come to the store because this is our last live stream for this
Yes.
week. So we'd like to invite you all to come today at 4 p.m. If you can't make it today, you can come tomorrow at 10:30. If not 10:30, we have 12, and then we have 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
On Saturday, it's only going to be 2 sessions. So it's going to be 10:30 and 1 and 12 to 1.
so you mentioned you will do a stream on your.
Yes, on Facebook
On your-
I have a stream at 10:30.
What's the Facebook page it will be on?
Ludalo free pattern making class. If you look at free pattern making class on Facebook, I have a stream at 10:30 in the morning on Facebook. There are several hundred people now that have signed up already.
All right, I just wanted to put
Well,
that
I
out.
could share you the link. 'Cause
Yes,
I could find it on
and then we
Facebook
just
and
paste
I'll
it on
share
our
the
page
Mikado
too.
page too.
Yeah, in the event that they have a bit of problems finding the page.
You can see it there.
Absolutely not a problem. Ms. Garbutt, I thank you so much. We want to thank Omesh for giving the opportunity of this free pattern making. It's every 5 years. We're at what? 2004? I'm expecting this in 2009. I should be here standing doing this stream again. In my own clothing that I made from your free pattern making. But yes, we take advantage, guys. Don't lose opportunities when it comes to you. Just never know, what's ahead of you.
Yeah.
Take the opportunity. It's coming to you. Take it.
Yeah.
So once again, we're at Mikado on Albert Street. Do make your way down for this evening's session and tomorrow in the event that you can't make it today. On behalf of the management and staff, Ms. Garbutt, that's your part to close it out.
On On behalf of the management of staff of Mikado Store, we'd like to thank you all for watching our live stream for 2 days and for all that you guys that came out. Thank you for coming to Mikado. See you soon.
Absolutely. Any last words you'd like before we close the
I
stream?
also would like to say thank you to Mr. Umesh for having me here. We have a great relationship now for many years. Unfortunately, during COVID, I was not able to come here, but I'm already looking forward to my next visit.
It's a big makeup. I mean, it's happening, after the COVID. It's like everything is just rapidly taking position. And so you're right on cue with regards to getting back on track. Alrighty, so once again, I am Sugar Hamilton, streaming for Mikado on Hamilton Live Stream Service and, of course, on Mikado's Facebook page. Do continue to be productive. Make your way to Mikado on Albert Street, your textile palace.